Houston's offense tells you the real story before any headline ever could. Late in the fourth, the ball goes to a center at the elbow. Not a bailout post-up, not a get-a-shot-up prayer, a real decision-making hub. Alperen Şengün catches, holds, scans, and the defense starts arguing with itself. If you've seen it once, you've seen the pattern. A cutter slips behind ball-watching eyes. A shooter stays ready because the pass actually arrives. The play looks slow, but the defense feels late.
Still on the dribble, loses Giannis again, pirouettes on Turner, it goes down!
So the question is simple, who makes the game slow down when it matters? Right now, in the middle of the 2026 season, Houston is sitting in the low 30s in wins and high teens in losses, firmly in the West playoff picture. And the guy guiding that structure is a 23-year-old center who used to get tagged as too slow and too old school before he even touched an NBA floor. Those who are not subscribers might think this rise happened overnight. Like he woke up and decided to become a point guard in a center's body. It didn't happen like that. It started on a draft night most people remember for completely different names. July 29th, 2021, Cade Cunningham goes first, Jalen Green goes second, Evan Mobley goes third, Scotty Barnes goes fourth, Jalen Suggs goes fifth, then Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Franz Wagner, and a bunch of other lottery names that owned the mocks. And at pick 16, Oklahoma City selects Alperen Sengun.
The Oklahoma City Thunder select Alperen Şengün from Giresun, Turkey.
Then immediately trades him to Houston for 2 protected future first rounders, one routed through Detroit and one through Washington. Houston paid real assets for a non-lottery center. That's a bet, not an accident. Why would they do that? Because Şengün had just been an MVP of the Turkish Basketball Super League at 18 years old. 18 against grown professionals, not a development league, a pro league. In that season with Beşiktaş, he put up 19.2 points, 9.4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.7 blocks, 1.3 steals, and shot 67.9% from the field. His performance index rating was 26.8, and the MVP context makes it even clearer. That award only began in 2021. He was the inaugural winner, and he's still the only Turkish player to have won it. The next MVP winners were old imports like Alpha Kaba, Tyreek Jones, Austin Wiley, Marquise Reed. Not teenagers, not prodigies. Rockets GM Raphael Stone basically said that an 18-year-old MVP in a top-tier pro league puts you on a short historical list. The same kind of pre-NBA dominant signal you associate with guys like Luka or Jokic. Not the same player, same warning sign for scouts who ignore production, but the scouting critiques were loud anyway. Too slow laterally, can't guard in space, won't survive switches, and on offense, too old school. A post-heavy center with low 3-point volume, about 20% from 3 on under 1 attempt per game in Turkey. The modern NBA was supposed to erase him. His first years in Houston didn't help the narrative. Rookie year, about 21 minutes a night, bench roll. Second year, more touches, more flashes. Then the weird part, under coach Steven Silas, he gets discouraged from taking threes. Stay in the paint, stay in your lane, be a center, which is wild because his whole superpower is feel. And if you want a quick timeline of why this matters, look at his NBA progression. About 9.6 points as a rookie, then 14.8 points, then 21.1 points, then 19.1 points with 10.3 rebounds and 4.9 assists.
Gordon off the pick, in on Gobert to the basket, throws it up. No, Şengün! Yes! That's what you want.
And now, through early February 2026, he's around 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists on about 50.6% from the field. That's not random growth, that's expansion. The league still didn't fully buy it until the signature moment started stacking up. March 5th, 2024, against San Antonio, Şengün drops 45 points and 16 rebounds in 114-101 win over the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. Highest single game scoring by a Turkish player in NBA history. Next night, March 6, 2024, Against the Clippers, he goes 23 points, 19 rebounds, 14 assists, plus 2 steals. Then came 2025, when Houston stopped being a league past science project. The Rockets go 52 wins and 30 losses. Second in the West, they draw Golden State in round 1. 7 games of war. Across that series, Şengün averages 20.9 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. Game 4, April 28, 2025, in San Francisco, he drops 31 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists in 42 minutes. Houston still loses 109-106, but he's forcing Golden State to treat him like a problem.
It's not going to be perfect. You're going to be in some wild situations.
Şengün with the steal! One-on-one with Butler, and he lays it up and steal.
Then Game 7, May 4th, 2025. He finishes with 21 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists in 40 minutes. Houston loses 103-89, and the real scene happens after. At the podium, he doesn't hide behind bad luck. He talks about Draymond Green like a student talking about the hardest assignment of his life. He is one of the best defenders of all time. It was a great experience to go against him. Then he drops the line that tells you the mindset. I learned real basketball. He says he has to work on easy shots and come back stronger. That's the moment the loss turns into fuel. That off-season, he rebuilt his shooting. Not a tiny tweak, a rebuild. He worked with Rockets assistant Cam Hodges. He worked with a Serbian shooting coach, Đorđe Šajgun, a long-time mentor. He texted Šajgun, "Đorđe, don't plan anything this summer. We have a lot to do." They spent about a month alone on shooting, then another month with Rockets staff. Šajgun said they worked from day one to the last, perfecting mechanics, and that confidence and mental stability would unlock it. Şengün said it too. I worked out a lot this summer. Cam was there. I had a Serbian coach, Đorđe, and we worked from the beginning on my shooting form, everything. Then he takes that work to Eurobasket 2025. Turkey makes a silver medal run, and Şengün is the engine. He averages 21.6 points, 10.1 rebounds, 6.6 assists on 55% shooting, 31.8% from 3, 75.4% at the line.
Offer in this fourth quarter because he has been carrying him. And look at Şengün just take over.
In the final against Germany, he drops 28. He makes the Eurobasket All-Star 5. He becomes the youngest player in Eurobasket history with a triple-double. And he becomes the first player in the last 30 years to hit at least 150 points, 50 rebounds, and 50 assists in one Eurobasket. That's not nice overseas. That's this guy runs games. So when the NBA season opens, the change is already in the air. Opening night, October 21st, 2025, at Oklahoma City, against the defending champs, 2 overtimes, Şengün puts up 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and hits 5 threes. He goes 12 for 24 from the field, 5 for 8 from deep, 10 for 11 at the line. 5 made threes from the guy who couldn't shoot. That's a billboard.
No, they've got a good opponent on the opposite side. Şengün got the contact! Banging the bucket, Şengün!
And the early season proof keeps coming. November 14th, 2025, against Portland. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, plus 3 steals, 3 blocks, and 4 threes in a 140-116 win. November 16th, 2025, against Orlando, overtime. 30 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. November 20th, 2025, at Cleveland. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and it caps a franchise note. First player in Rockets history with at least 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in 3 straight games.
Dribble handoff to Thompson. Shot clock at 1. Şengün with the high-arcing baseline jumper.
That's not a fun fact. That's a style of player. Now mix in the historical milestones. January 20th, 2025, against Detroit, he records his 1000th career assist. becoming the youngest center in NBA history to reach 1,000 assists. And within his first 256 games, he crosses 4,000 points, 2,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists. That's a short list across NBA history, and it's the type of thing that happens when a big man is also your connector. Then Houston's roster shifts the stakes. Summer 2025, the Rockets trade for Kevin Durant, and Durant's praise has a theme. He calls Sengun a unique talent. He says he's never had the chance to play next to a big who can control the game in the post like Sengun does.
I play with some bigs that are great at what they do. Great role-playing bigs that can guard in the post, but that could set great screens, that can finish over the rim, that can block shots. But I think Alpy could pretty much do all of that.
He talks about the post scoring, the passing, the ability to step out and shoot, and how it creates open shots. Durant even jokes online that sometimes he's surprised he's that open. Then the season throws Houston another plot twist. Fred VanVleet tears his ACL before the year even starts. The veteran organizer is gone, so Houston leans harder into the elbow hub. More post decisions, more delay actions, more late clock possessions where the ball finds Sengun and everyone else moves off him. And the offense stops looking young. It starts looking deliberate. That's when Houston stopped experimenting and started contending. The advanced stat fits the eye test. With Sengun on the floor, Houston's offensive rating sits around 118.7 points per 100 possessions this season, basically 119, one of the better marks in the league. That's the striking stat. It's not magic, it's structure. And if you're looking for the contrast in one sentence, 2 years ago, teams hunted his switches. Today, they scheme around his positioning. 2 years ago, teams hunted him. Today, they plan around him. He still has weaknesses. Quick guards can create hard angles, turnovers show up when windows close. This isn't a perfect player, but the original idea that modern basketball had no room for him keeps collapsing. Modern offense isn't about positions, it's about advantage and decision making.
Better as of late, coming off another double-double yesterday. They go right to him, gets right by the rookie, and hammers it down on the first possession.
Now add the All-Star swing, because this is where the season gets personal. January 13th, 2025, he makes his first All-Star team as a Western Conference reserve. First Rockets All-Star since Harden and Westbrook in 2020. He's in rare Rockets company at age 22. So when the initial 2026 All-Star reserves list drops and he's left off, the league calls it a snub. He calls it disappointing. My goal after last year is to become an All-Star every year. It's disappointing, but this only pushes me to work harder. And then he responds without waiting for a speech. Early February at Indiana, with Durant sidelined, Sengun drops 39 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists in a 118-114 win. If you want a visual, that's the one. Big man at the elbow, guards cutting like they trust the pass, defenders arriving late and looking annoyed about it. A few days later, February 8th, 2026, Adam Silver names him the injury replacement for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So yes, it was a snub, and yes, it got corrected, and the mini arc matters because it shows the edge. This is my opinion, and it's subjective, and the way it ends will depend on matchups and who's healthy, but the identity shift is real. Houston finally knows what it wants in the biggest possessions. They finally know who steadies the game when everything speeds up. That's the moment Houston stopped being young and started being dangerous. Modern hoops didn't pass him by, it bent to him.